మిరప తోటల్లో వచ్చే పురుగుల గురించి ఒక్కసారి క్లుప్తంగా చూడండి రైతు సోదరులారా.
Whiteflies form a major threat for many vegetable and ornamental crops. The adults can be recognized by their waxy wings. Whiteflies have well-developed needle-like mouthparts. They extract sap from the underside of plant leaves and secrete honeydew. This honeydew, in turn, is a nutrient source for sooty molds. The female lays her eggs on the underside of young leaves. If she has not yet mated, all the eggs will develop into males. The eggs have a white-yellowish color, are oblong-shaped, and are often deposited in circles. After 1 or 2 days, they become darker in color. The nymphs that emerge from the eggs are known as crawlers. Crawlers move around for several hours before settling on the leaf. They molt into their second stage and become immobile. The nymph starts to feed and begins to produce honeydew. 2 further stages will follow. The nymph now molts into its 4th stage. This is the final stage before becoming an adult. The nymph is flat at first, later changing into an oval, box-shaped pupa with hairs. The adult emerges. Soon after emerging, wax is secreted over the entire body. Adults immediately begin to penetrate the leaf with their mouthparts to feed on plant sap.
ఇప్పుడు తామర పురుగు జీవిత చక్రాన్ని చూడండి.
Thrips are a major problem in greenhouse horticulture. They can easily overwinter and attack plants early in the season. The eggs of thrips are kidney-shaped and are laid in leaves, flower petals, and in the soft parts of stalks. Before a female deposits an egg, she first makes an opening in the plant tissue. After hatching, the larva immediately begins to feed on plant tissue. The first instar larva molts into a second instar larva. This second stage larva is bigger and has more color. At the end of the second instar, the larva usually falls to the ground to pupate. Pupation occurs in natural crevices in the ground or lower leaf surfaces. The prepupal and pupal instars are recognizable by their developing wing buds. The adult thrips has a fully developed pair of fringed wings. Thrips cause damage to the plant by piercing the cells of the surface tissues and sucking out their contents, causing the surrounding tissue to die. The resulting silver-gray patches on leaves and the black dots on their excreta indicate their presence in the crop. Thrips are also responsible for the transmission of viruses.
ఇప్పుడు పేనుబంక జీవిత చక్రాన్ని చూడండి. దాని కాల పరిమితిని కూడా ఆలోచించండి.
Aphids inflict serious damage to a variety of crops. They are notorious virus vectors and have an enormous reproductive capacity. There are lots of different colored species, and they occur in all kinds of crops. Nymphs and adults extract food materials from the plant and disturb the balance of the plant's growth hormones. It can result in deformed leaves or even the death of young plants. Aphids secrete honeydew, which is a nutrient source for sooty molds. Their saliva can also induce strong allergic reactions, such as malformations of the growing tips. The aphid in this video is the most important vector of viruses and is thus feared by many growers. When reproduction is asexual, the young aphids are born as developed nymphs. They immediately start to feed on plant sap and grow rapidly. Aphids molt 4 times before reaching adulthood. With each molt, they shed white skin, betraying their presence in the crop. Adult aphids can have different appearances. They can vary in color and can be winged or wingless. The most effective method to control aphids depends on species, crop, and climate.
ఇప్పుడు ఎర్రనల్లి లైఫ్ స్టైల్ గురించి చూడండి.
Spider mite infestations affect many crops throughout the world. With their great reproductive capacity, they can destroy plants rapidly. Adult spider mites can be red, orange, yellow, green, or brown in color. Both males and females usually have 2 large black spots. That is why they are called two-spotted spider mite. Spider mites cause damage to the host plant by feeding on plant tissue and plant sap. They mainly occur on the underside of leaves, where they suck out the contents of the cells. These dead cells become yellow. As damage increases, whole leaves turn yellow, and eventually the plant may die. Nymphs and adults also produce webs, and plants can be completely covered by them. They can reproduce sexually as well as asexually. Eggs are laid on the underside of the leaves. The larvae that emerge from the eggs are virtually colorless, with 2 dark red eyes. Once they start feeding, they become light green, brownish, yellow, or even dark green. The 2 dark spots also develop on the middle of the body. Once sufficient food is consumed, they become inactive and develop into proto-nymphs. Another feeding and resting period follows that leads to a molt. the deutonymph emerges. After another molt, the adult mite appears. With each molt, spider mites shed their skin. The color of the adults often depends on the crop on which they occur. The intensive use of chemicals has led to many spider mite populations developing resistance to pesticides.